We came, we saw, he died. Did it have anything to do with your visit? No, I'm sure it did.
All right, that's a very giddy Hillary Clinton after we deposed Muammar Gaddafi. She was between interviews at CBS, and that was kind of not aired, but somehow someone got a hold of it. That worked out real well, didn't it, folks? They're now slaughtering Christians in Gaddafi's own hometown, they being ISIS. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel, C. Edmund Wright, columnist for Breitbart.com, an American thinker and author of WTF, How Karl Rove and the Republicans Lost Again. And Brad Gerstman, New York State Attorney, government relations strategist, partner at Gotham Government Relations. That's GothamMGR.com. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the panel. All right, let's start, C. Edmund, with you. The revelations, I played that Gaddafi-related, Benghazi-related kind of piece because Sid Blumenthal has reared his ugly head again, and now we find out today from the New York Times that Sid Blumenthal sent Hillary emails very often, and she would then send a lot of them on to another staff member who would then forward them on reportedly as his own without saying they were from Sidney Blumenthal. They were all about Benghazi and Libya because he had reportedly had interest in Benghazi and Libya. So what are we to make of this nonsense now?
Well, there's a lot there, Steve. I think the number one issue here with the Blumenthal emails is apparently he told Ms. Clinton that, look, Al-Qaeda is there, they're organized, and they're going to use this video as an excuse. So he knew it, which meant she knew it. And but not only did she counter it, she and Susan Rice actually helped promote that idea. So basically, the United States State Department was parroting Al-Qaeda's reason for the attack that killed Ambassador Stevens in Benghazi.
And Brad, don't forget, Sidney Blumenthal, Hillary wanted him at the State Department. The Obama administration said no way, and yet he played a role in Hillary's State Department life, and we're finding that out now.
You know, I just don't get it. Republicans seem to like to relitigate issues that have been litigated to death. For instance, Obamacare. Soon everybody will love Obamacare. Everyone will be on it.
Nobody's going to love Brad. Nobody's going to love Obamacare when they have to pay $6,000 deductibles. That's number one. And what are we talking about Obamacare for?
Benghazi has had the hearings. Benghazi has every newspaper report coming out, left, right, and center on it. And how much deeper does everyone have to go to try to smear Hillary Clinton, where the Republicans should be focusing on solutions on what they would do, especially in our foreign policy situation?
No.
But you hear nothing. You hear absolute silence.
To support the ambassador, and we wouldn't have lied about why the attack happened.
And you know what happens? Bad things happen when you're overseas in dangerous areas. And were there steps that should have been taken? Absolutely. That's already been admitted to. But when will the Republicans admit that George W. Bush, 43, made a mistake by causing this entire problem and upending the Middle East by attacking and entering Iraq?
So, wait, I want to get this straight now. I want to see how far Bush derangement syndrome has gone. So George W. Bush is now responsible for Benghazi, too, right?
Listen, he is in no question, with no question whatsoever, is he responsible for the upheaval in the Middle East.
Right. Not Barack Obama, who supports the Muslim Brotherhood every chance he gets. We're coming back. More of the panel. Don't go away. Hey, folks, welcome back. Malzberg panel part 2. What if I told you, folks, as we welcome back C. Edmund Wright and Brad Gerstman, that they found in Osama bin Laden's bookshelf or whatever, books by Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, and other conservatives. What if I told you that? Or he liked Sarah Palin. Oh, my God, they'd all be responsible for 9/11. but in fact the opposite is true. And they found a bunch of anti-American conspiracy-type works by people like Noam Chomsky, Bob Woodward, and others. And shh, let's not talk about it. Gentlemen, let's start with you, Brad. So it seems that Osama bin Laden, among other things, liked to read books by radical anti-American lefties.
I'm not sure what the relevancy, other than personal interest. I thought it was riveting in hearing, what he had in his residence. But on the other hand, I don't see he liked to hear from both sides. Based on all the intelligence that everybody understands, is that the Taliban and Osama bin Laden and ISIS are informed by places like Fox News, and they use that to try to inflame the concerns of their own people and try to get them to rally against Americans. And
that may or may not be true. That you could take a news report and try to do something with it, but in his spare time, in his downtime, at his core, Edmund, he read leftist trash written by Americans who are on the left. And the relevance is that if it were Rush Limbaugh that he was reading, and if it was Sarah Palin that he was quoting or whatever, or a fan of, as we saw with the Gabby Gifford shooting, right away they blame Sarah Palin and the right.
Yep. No, Steve, that is the salient point. Aurora, Gabby Giffords, early in Newtown, always an attempt to blame the right, and they love to throw Sarah Palin in there, and the NRA and Gun Owners of America and all of that. So that is actually the analogy here. But when it's written by people like Chomsky and Bloom and Woodward, and a lot of papers written by undergrads, just left-wing undergrads that Osama bin Laden liked, which, by the way, I think Barack Obama likes that too. They don't want to make a connection. They don't want to connect the dots.
I wonder if he read Maria Harf's term paper, which I'd love to see.
That was in crayon, wasn't it?
It probably was. All right, let's move on.
You didn't have any Bill O'Reilly paraphernalia in there, a T-shirt, a hat, or
no. But you see, Brad, if he did, that's all they'd be talking about in the media, and that's my whole point. That's all you'd hear. It would be the front page of the New York Times, of the Washington Post, and Fox and CNN and MSNBC would do it for a week and a half. But they didn't. They only had Noam Chomsky and the others on the other side, so nobody talks about it. That's the whole point. You get that? I know, right?
No,
you don't.
But I get your point. I don't believe there's relevancy to what you're.
Well, wait a minute. What about the Gabby Gifford shooting?
I'm very comfortable understanding that this is a madman, and this man had all kinds of paraphernalia in his residence with him. And I think it's very interesting. It's the same way as looking into, what Hitler kept with him. These are awful people, and they comfort themselves with all kinds of various materials.
All right, but again, when Gabby Giffords was shot, they immediately went to Sarah Palin's website and saw a bullseye that she put on congressional districts around the country that she believed were winnable, and blamed the bullseye and implied that the guy saw the bullseye on Gabby Gifford's district, and that's why he shot her. So that's what they do when it's someone on the right who they could possibly in any way link at all, even though it was another mad, murderous nut
They
job.
do. I love that. That's what they
The left.
do.
That's what the left does.
The left,
media.
the boogeyman, the ones that are out to sink this country.
You're not
We've
denying
had
it, though,
such
Brad. You're not
terrific
denying that that's what
results
they did. You can't deny that that's what they did.
Our Democratic administration here has reached new heights in terms of providing health care and
What
getting
does
us out
healthcare
of
have
a
to do with
desperate
this?
economy, my friend.
Brad,
Our economy is
when
better
people,
than it's been in decades.
Here's one thing on healthcare. Since Obama postponed the inevitable for about 100 million of us, when we're all on it and people start seeing that there's $6,000 to $8,000 deductibles for a family of four, there's going to be a revolution in this country. No one could afford that, but you keep making believe everybody's happy.
Do you remember when the website didn't work and everybody said that this was a failure on the right? The right, were all condemning Barack Obama.
All right, final word, Edmund.
Failure.
Edmund, go ahead, final word.
Brad's got some distorted history there. When the website didn't work, we said that was the best thing that could happen to Obamacare because it actually hid the fact that after you get all this coverage, there's not going to be any medical care.
All right, Edmund Wright,
Oh,
see Edmund
my
Wright,
God.
Brad Gerstman. Have a great weekend. Thank you, guys. And Tom Rogan's next, folks. Don't go away.